as you're at the festival all day, you'll be wearing a mask, and you will have your temperature taken. Everyone that comes will have their temperature taken. There's professional sanitation crews that will be moving throughout the site all day long. One bright side is that instead of stinky portalettes, we're having nice trailers with air conditioning and the proper airflow to meet the CDC regulations for safe cleaning of the air. And we are limiting the attendance. We'll talk about this a bit later, but you will enter one side of the festival, the audience will enter on the other, and only 1,500 audience at a time can be there. So when the 1,501st person comes, they'll have to wait until somebody leaves. So it's limited attendance, masks, temperature taking, outdoors, sanitation. Nothing is 100% safe in the world, but we think this will be as safe as driving there on I-4 under construction.
Thank you, Terry. Can you just talk a little bit about the virtual world so everyone knows about that?
And for those who aren't comfortable yet going out, and everyone has to make their own decisions about whether they're going to drive on I-4 or not. And I know some people who won't, or come out in the middle of a pandemic to this festival. On Friday, this coming Friday, from 4 to 8 p.m., we are having Virtual World Fusion Fest. So there's a link you can go to, and it's kind of a combination between a video game and Facebook and Zoom. So you'll have a little avatar, you'll type in your name, and you will walk around the festival site virtually. And as you come close to someone, their little box will come up. You have to have a computer with a camera and microphone to participate in this, because it's, like I said, kind of like a Zoom thing. But so you go over by the dance stage, and there'll be Maria, and you can talk to her about what's happening the next day. Or you can go over to the gallery, and some of the artists will be there. You can go to the film pavilion and actually enter a portal where you can see 3 of the winning films from last year. There are short migration films. And one extra special thing on that Friday that won't be at the live event on Saturday and Sunday is a Puerto Rican rainforest experience. So some of our folks with heritage from Puerto Rico are building that experience, and will be there to guide you a bit through what it's like at a Puerto Rican rainforest.
Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go through, I did send out the volunteer handbook, so you'll have it. I'm gonna pull that up, and we're kind of just gonna walk through it, touch base on each job, talk about where you go, when you enter, kind of an overview of the day, and then afterwards, we'll open it up for questions. So it'll be a lot of information, but you do have a copy, you should have a copy sent to you that you can either pull up after, or maybe you already looked at it and have questions. But I'm gonna share my screen, so in case you don't have it, you will be able to see mine. Hey, look, here we are. All right, so Fusion Fest, volunteer handbook. Okay, so we know what it is.
949.
Talked about it. 2 days, next Saturday and Sunday, plus our extra virtual world on Friday. Saturday, the hours are 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the guests, which start with a very fun celebration and opening spectacle. And Sunday, noon to 6. So our volunteer shifts will start 30 minutes before that. So if you signed up for a morning shift for either of those, that starts at 9:30 on Saturday and 11:30 a.m. on Sunday. Of course, it's right outside the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts. What you get for being amazing people and volunteering with us. Of course, our undying love and adoration for supporting arts and culture in Orange County and diversity. You'll get a t-shirt. You'll get a ticket to enter into our $300 prize raffle, which is a digital ticket. So you'll actually scan a QR code and enter it in digitally. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And 3 food tokens for every 4-hour shift that you work. And if you are really excited and want to come back on Sunday night, or if you're doing a Sunday night shift and help us break down, then there's going to be free pizza for all those lovely people that are doing that. And breakdown will not be too labor intensive. It's really about folding up chairs and little tables and putting them outside of the pods so that our crew can come through and just pick them up easily and they're not inside. So you can
Actually, you know what, Crystal?
Yes, Terry.
We're not going to have to do that.
Oh, that's news.
Rosen Hotels has donated to the Dr. Phillips Center 500 chairs.
Great.
And so they will be set up for us, so we don't have to do the setup either. And
Right.
they'll be staying there for the next, until the festival. Dr. Phillips has ordered some little fancier chairs from Italy that haven't arrived. But,
Okay.
So I don't know if we'll need that shift either.
We may not. We'll circle back if you signed up for that.
There's some
for that.
packing up to do, I think.
Yes, I think moving some boxes, right,
Yeah.
Tally?
And again, things are changing every day. So I think we learned about that maybe yesterday or Thursday.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
we appreciate everyone's understanding and patience.
Flexibility is key. We have in the festival, if you haven't been to the festival or seen it before, we kind of have two different tracks and they're laid out here for you. We have our contests, which have been happening, and then of course the showcases, which are happening on the stage. There's a little overview of all the things that are going on, and you'll see it in the map momentarily, which is right here. Hello, map. So I am going to make this a little smaller so we can see it. All right, so most importantly, there we go. Where you go. So if you can see down here, Anderson Street, excuse me, is down here, Magnolia Avenue on the right side of the screen. You will enter from Anderson onto Magnolia, walking down that nice little underpass under the Dr. Phillips Center. Volunteer check-in will be to your left once you pass a video screen and some restrooms right here. So that is where you will go. You will walk in this way, you will come there, you will find me sitting there waiting for you, or somebody else who I have left in charge if I'm somewhere else. That's where you'll get your temperature taken. You'll pick up all of your goodies, your shirt, and all of those things. From there, you will be sent out and dispersed to your location. Go over a few really important places. The OUC Massey stage, right in the center underneath the orange square here. Right behind it, that little green tent is a performer changing tent. Up above is where the participants, artists, and performers will check in. So if you are at the volunteer check-in table with me or here, I'll be running back and forth to both. And we can always just, if you see an artist anywhere, this is a really good thing to know where it is. They need to go and check in there because that is where they get their temperature taken. Over here on Orange Avenue is our entrance. You see these orange squares right here, rectangles, excuse me. And that is where everyone will enter in. There are two places to buy your tokens, 3 for $10, which we have people selling tokens. And that is one right here, and then one down here closer to some of the other food vendors. The 7, 8, and 9 you'll see here are our some more food trucks. These tokens would be great for those people going there. We have a gallery, which is going to be beautiful here. Our other orange stage, the Allen stage, the Bob Allen Family Foundation stage is over here. This is where our languages and storytelling and fashion show and all of these things take place. And all these little boxes are, of course, the pods. Up in this top area, you'll see the games, open grassy area, also pods for people to be sitting in and enjoying life and the festival. All of these 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all of these merchandise and service vendors will be there ready for people to enjoy, and more restrooms up above here. So the area, if you've been downtown, you know that this area well by the Dr. Phillips Center, it is still a little construction zone right here, so that area to get onto Magnolia is closed. You cannot enter from South Street. So please, please, please enter from Anderson. And the first thing you do is go to the volunteer check-in to pick up your things and get everything taken. Our prizes, we'll talk about that in a minute, because if you're wearing a volunteer shirt, people are going to ask you where things are. That is just the nature of being a volunteer. If you don't know, that is fine. We can say, hold on one moment, I'll find out for you. But our prizes tent is right here, which will be talked about with our VIP right down here. We're going to come back to that, but I wanted you to have an overview, so when we talk about it, you know where you're going. Parking. You are responsible for your own parking. Luckily, there is free parking available at Orange County government buildings, and street parking is free on Sunday only. So if you're volunteering on Saturday, please don't park in the street and not pay. You will get a ticket. But here are some options for parking for you, or park wherever your heart desires downtown. Our shift times, we have 3 on Saturday. We talked about 9:30, 1:30, and 5:30, and 2 on Sunday for the festival, 11:30 and 3:30, and then a short breakdown shift at the end. So as Terry mentioned, I believe we start out with our opening spectacle, and if you signed up to help with that, you will be, for the first little bit of the shift, being dispatched to where the start of that is, to make sure everyone has their flags and they're in place, and you'll have a point of contact person there. And then you will come back to the volunteer check-in table once everything is done and you've helped make sure all the flags are in place, and find out where your next superstar volunteer need is, because that will be only a little portion of the first shift. Our clean team, as Terry mentioned, we do have professional cleaners coming throughout. They will be doing a lot. We wanted to have some of our own volunteers in certain areas that we know we can send to, that we may need tables wiped down, that is not being specifically cleaned. So this is a flexible team. You'll be in contact with me a lot. You'll have a designated area, and we'll be kind of working throughout the day. Also, as things change, we'll know more about exactly where that needs to happen. Our welcome and temperature screener is one of the most important volunteers at the festival for us, because we must welcome people happily and get their temperature taken and start to advise them on keeping that mask up in the kindest way possible. So if somebody's temperature is over 100.4, we will not be able to admit them into the festival. If for some reason they say they've been outside, they've just ran there, they're hot and sweaty, we would advise them to please go sit somewhere cool under the shade, far away from the festival. And if they are cooling down and that really is the reason, then we can retake their temperature in 15 minutes, check it, and let them in. But 100.4 is our magic number. Our stage heroes. These are my friends that are going to be at the stage helping all things around the stage, making sure that patrons are not wandering back. They will do it. They won't mean to. Just saying, oh, actually right here is where your pods are located to sit. You can view the stage great from any of these locations. Just making sure that there's enough water for performers and staff. That'll be touching base and making sure we have that, helping any of the performers get on and off the stage, reminding the performers to keep their masks on until they are on stage. If they have decided to take them off once they are on stage, they are allowed to do that. So it'll be nice, gentle reminders. Nobody will mean to do it, but it will just happen. Also, making sure the performers know about their entrance into the $300 raffle ticket as well. And then anything our fabulous stage tech crew needs. This is kind of an all-encompassing role around the stage. If you signed up to help with games, that'll be a really fun area, getting guests involved and excited and playing all the games, and we'll have a list of how to play those as well to distribute to you. If you are signed up to be a volunteer or performer squire, that is going to be my best friend at the festival, because you are going to be at the volunteer table or the performer check-in table. This is a mostly sitting position, unless I need to dispatch you to help with something or somebody needs something and I'm somewhere else. But this will be another place where we're checking temperatures, and really important to make sure that everyone knows where they're going. We have people that are there for their shifts, and that the performers, once they check in, they go to their stage. The prize and info booth. We do have people manning this booth that are not volunteers. However, this may be an area where I send someone if the people doing that need a break or need to use the restroom, because we all need to do that sometimes. And this is where someone will come to get their prize, which is in their VIP passport. So a VIP passport is pretty awesome. It is $25 and it includes all these lovely things here: a neck wallet, food tokens, a button, a prize ticket, a raffle ticket, and a sticker. And the prize ticket, it works like this in case somebody comes up to you and says, I have a prize ticket and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. Just direct them to the prize and info booth, and they will be able to pick their prize there. They'll say a number or Post-it note, and the person behind the booth will give them their designated prize. So you can just direct them to that booth. Let's see. And then of course our breakdown, we talked about that a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go. Yay. So those are most of the jobs. They're pretty self-explanatory. As we've been saying in our team, we all just have to be flexible. Thank you, Terry. As things are ever changing daily, and we just really appreciate flexibility and ability to change quickly when we need it to happen. You've already signed up to be a volunteer, so we already know you're beautiful humans with great big hearts. So I have no fear that will be a problem. We want to tell you a little bit about the end of the festival. On Sunday at 6 p.m. we have a really fun awards show that Terry's going to tell us about.
Sure. The last couple of years, we did hand out big checks at the end of the festival, but basically it was me just like saying, and the winner is, here's a check, and the winner is. Well, this year, the top 3 finalists for the winning dance, actually 4, will perform. The top 3 musician fusion groups will perform. The fashion final will happen there. The spoken word winners will perform. So it will be it'll be a show, a nice hour-long show. We'll have a sizzle reel about the films. We'll have a summary about the food contest. Some of these contests this year are happening ahead of time, like food was this Tuesday at the demonstration kitchen at Publix in Winter Park. And so the 7 chefs had an easier time preparing, not outside under a tent or whatever, but and the judges could really judge that. But they won't be announced until that award show Sunday night. So from 6 to 7 will be the close of the festival, and there'll be that award show. Should be pretty fun. You'll get a sampling of everything that in that 1 hour.
Yes, excellent. Okay, that was a lot of information. I was talking pretty fast. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Tally, did you have something to say?
Yes, I have a picture of the pods.
Oh yes, thank you.
Share that.
I think the word that they're using is
Oh,
audience
I'm
boxes.
so sorry.
Audience boxes.
have-
We're trying to get our lingo down. Thank
Yes.
you, Terry.
I have a picture of the audience boxes. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, this is what the audience boxes look like, and we will have 4 chairs, 4 or 5 chairs, Terry.
4.
4 chairs inside each one of them. And I think the ones on this side, we will put flags on it. And it's going to look like, let's see, other one. Wait, sorry, let me share again. This is a fun one. This is how it's going to look like. This is Jay Nail, our site manager. And this is Jay, this is Terry, and this is Jay being Jay.
Stop it.
So fun. Yeah, so that is, if you are helping with the opening spectacle and the flags, that's what I was referring to. The flags will go into a little area right within the different audience boxes. They won't block the audience view because it will be in an area not right in front of the OUC Massey stage. So it'll be in not that center area.
And just a word about that, at the end of the opening spectacle, when all the parades come in, you saw a picture at the end of that sizzle reel. that showed everybody crowded on the steps of City Hall. You know, everybody get close together. Well, we're not doing that this year, but we'll be taking a picture from the top of the Dr. Phillips Center down with everybody in their pod with their flags and that kind of thing. So if you're part of the opening spectacle, you'll be in that group picture. It'll be a big group picture, a little bit further away, but it'll be kind of fun because it'll be an aerial shot.
Yes. So just a few things, of course, safety is number one for us, as Terry mentioned in the beginning. We want all of you to feel safe as volunteers. We want all of our artists to feel safe. We want all of our guests to feel safe. And we also want to be really friendly and kind about it all. So very gentle reminders to people. If you see someone with a mask below their nose, you know, the proper way to wear a mask is covering your nose. So all you need to say to them is, oh, can you put your mask above your nose? If you see someone without a mask walking around, really just simple reminders. Oh, can you put your mask on, please? Oh, your mask isn't on, right? Just as kind as we can be. We are not encouraging anybody to be eating unless they are in their little audience box. So you can, of course, take your mask off when you eat. But to do that, you get your food from the food vendor, you get wherever it is, find a box, sit down, then take your mask on. Very different than a normal festival. We're in different times where you can walk around and eat whatever you would like. We don't want that to happen. People will be too close to each other. We really want to portray a safe way to bring arts and culture back into people's lives. So that's really important for us and for Orange County as well. So does anybody have any questions with all that information? I know, Bob, I am looking for you in there, and I'll get you a link if you haven't. Yes.
So I hate to admit this, I'm telling on myself. I signed up for something, and I don't know what day, time, and I think it was the Squire, the behind the stage thing or something like that. So when you,
I'm looking in right now, and I'll send you a reminder. You will all get a reminder of what your shift is before it happens. If you log in to your Eventany, if you go to Eventany and just click it, it will also show up under your name there. But I will be sending out a reminder, and I'll look for you, Bob.
Okay. Also, I have this question. Is Orange Avenue going to be open, closed, I mean, and people are mingling? No.
Orange Avenue will be open.
Traffic will be occurring.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It'll all be contained within that block, which will have a 6-foot fence all around it. So the entrance is from the Orange Avenue side, but from the sidewalk. So people, if they have to wait, like it's full and they have to wait, they'll have to be 6-foot distance on the sidewalk around the corner and down the street.
Good job. What a thing to do.
Bob, you are 9:30 a.m. volunteer and performer Squire, so you will be there right in the beginning.
What day?
Saturday.
Okay. Saturday, 9:30 a.m.
Yes, and if for some reason you do need to change your shift, you can do that by just going into your Eventany account, just logging in, and you'll see the available shifts. If you're feeling super energized and jazzed after this amazing Zoom meeting and say, I want to do more and I got to do this, feel free to sign up for another shift.
That's great.
We still have stuff available. Or if you know anybody that still wants to volunteer, they still can. We give community service hours for high schoolers or anyone in any organizations that need it. And they can still sign up. I'll reach out to them personally. They'll get a copy of everything that they need. So you can send them right to our volunteer page on our website, which I will give you in the chat. Any other questions?
Yeah, Krista,
Yes.
this is Lorene Walker. What time are we supposed to be in attendance?
So do you know what shift you signed up for, Lorene?
Yes, 9:30.
Great. So 9:30 a.m. Make sure you are checked in at the volunteer table. I will be there earlier, so if you come at 9:20, that's great.
Okay, thank you.
But by 9:30 a.m., check in at the volunteer table with me.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, Priscilla, yes, some questions. So they wander until they find an empty audience box. Yes, they will just go and find a space to sit if they would like, or they can go into the celebration tents. They can go look at food vendors. They can look at merchandise. So, and if they don't want to sit, there's lots of things. There's the games area. There's lots of things for participants to do besides just sit and watch. I say just sit and watch the beautiful art that will be there. Terry, did you have anything to say?
Also a good question about the neck gaiters, mask with valves, etc. Good question. I know we want to comply with CDC, so I know that CDC says no neck gaiters unless it's double fabric.
That's
I don't know
neck
how we
gaiters.
check that.
Yeah, what's that?
It's like a scarf type thing
Oh,
around.
him.
You can
No,
wear
that's
around.
Show him. My son, I think, is wearing one right now.
Oh.
Show him, honey.
What is this?
Neck gaiter.
let's see. I don't see it.
So it goes all the way around. It's like a scarf that you can pull up.
Scarf is a mess.
And it's
But-
usually
You can pull it down and then bring it up.
Yes.
That's it.
it's
Yeah.
usually of a kind of a stretchy material.
Yeah.
Is more porous, which is why the CDC says that's not good. So I don't know the answer to that question. I'll check with Jay, who is our COVID marshal, to make sure. That's a very good question, and I'm sorry we haven't thought of that yet.
Do you have any Fusion Fest logoed mask?
We don't, but we do have masks available if someone comes without a mask or if they've got the wrong thing, we've got these masks that we can give to them. We also, for the first 1,000 families that come, we have a little individual sanitizer that they can have as well.
Excellent.
So,
Excellent.
like on the audience boxes, when a family or a single person, yes, leaves a box, the professional sanitation crew will come and sanitize it for the next person.
Excellent.
That's the
Excellent.
idea. Again, we're all being flexible because we're trying to figure this out. How do we do life in this
Right.
new way? Especially when COVID cases are rising around, it seems. I know we've had a couple of feedback. What are you doing? Well, we're figuring out how to do life in a safe way in an unsafe world.
Now,
Go ahead, Claudia.
I have a whole bunch of Toastmasters coming because Talia has graciously given us a table and they're willing to help out where necessary. I think they're going to miss this meeting because a lot of them weren't aware of it. Will they be able to come to the table and just kind of let you know that they're available if you need anything extra?
The day of.
Yeah.
How many people are we talking about?
About 6 maybe. But I mean, they're going to be there doing their thing as well. So you don't have to use them. But if you need help, they'll be available.
I see. Okay. I mean,
They're all adults.
I think definitely they could come and find me at the table for sure, because it is very possible for a shift that someone may not have shown up. And if they are already there, that would be great. If they can come to the volunteer check-in table, and that would be wonderful.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes, Priscilla, I saw your other question. Is there a minimum for somebody coming? No, we're not going to be policing the boxes. If someone's sitting by themselves in a box, that's their box to sit in.
And just to clarify there, it's all general admission for the boxes. There's nothing reserved for boxes.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, if you do donate $3,000 or more, you can have a reserve box.
A question about if someone refuses to comply, is there a policy? I imagine that when they're checking in, certainly, but I mean, if they're already on site and they're unwilling to wear a mask or something like that, is there a policy? What should we do?
So yes, we will. You'll all have my phone number and you can text me and we will get someone, the right person there to help our COVID master.
Great, thank you.
To address the situation.
You do not need to bring handcuffs or anything like that, Bob.
Yeah, if for some reason you're uncomfortable in any way, just send me a quick text. My phone's going to be on a portable charger all day. So you'll be able to send me a quick text. I'll even put my number in here again. It will be in some other information to you as well, but my number is going to be here in the chat for you guys all to just write down now if you would like. I did see, yes, Chris, I will reach out to you. Diamani, can we come and check in early in the day, even if our shift is later? So if you want to be an audience, Terry, before their volunteer shift, what would you like the protocol to be?
Another good question. As I can't remember if I said it in this one. The 1500 is guests. So if people come in through the front, and if you're going to be there for a number of hours, I would encourage you to come in through the front, but then leave through the front and come around to the back.
Yeah.
So we can keep that 1500 audience members. There's going to be more than that in there because our performers, our volunteers, staff and stuff won't be counted in that 1500, but we would like to have some control because 1500 is still, it's going to be still a lot, and we're still going to need to be saying to people, please keep your distance as we see people crowding together if they look like they're not a party that's all together. So some of it is self-policing, but we all have the ability to friendly, as Crystal said, enforce the masking and the distancing. And I know even when we were at a meeting with the Dr. Phillips folks, and we all kind of got into a close circle, and the guy just said distance, and we all stepped back a little bit. It's just reminders that that's
the world we're living in. It's a new world. We got to remind ourselves of those little things. So just to clarify, so if you want to come to the festival from 10 to noon and you're like the 1:30 shift, enter through the front and exit through the front before you come. You're more than welcome to come and find me and put your eyes on me and say, hey, Crystal, I'm here. I'm enjoying the festival. I'll be back at 1:30 to check in for my shift. That's awesome. But for sure, if you're there 15 minutes early, you can come through the volunteer, right? So just kind of use that. A couple hours, definitely come in through the guest entrance and exit that way so you're counted, and then you can come through Magnolia. Let me just see if there were any others in the chat that I needed. I think I answered all of them in the chat.
Hey, Crystal, I just got one by direct message. Does the same thing apply if we want to stay a bit after our shift?
So I think the answer would be the walking around is going to take you, 5, 6, 7 minutes. If you're just staying for a little bit and it's not worth doing that, don't worry about it. But just keep in mind that we don't want it to get too crowded in there. So if 100 people just stayed for a couple extra hours, that would be, more people. So I just encourage everyone to be reasonable about it.
Yeah, as volunteers, we luckily don't have that many people on a shift at one time. So it would, even if everybody stayed, it wouldn't be that many, but kind of the same rule. We really want to try and keep the numbers as accurate as possible if you are just watching. And also, if you keep your volunteer shirt on, people will ask you questions, just so you know. They will hunt you down and flag you and find you. So if you're staying after and you don't want to be asked, I would change out of that volunteer shirt.
Yeah, Crystal, I think one of those fundamental questions to that is just confirming entry to the festival itself is free.
Yes.
Aside from buying a VIP package. So
100% free. Yeah. Yes. Anybody can enter and exit the festival.
So don't have to worry about being on shift to attend the festival.
Correct. If you do want, I will say this, if you would like your tokens, if you are gonna come before that, if that's an issue, just reach out to me before if you want to check in with me because you're gonna you're a 5:30 shift, but you're going to enjoy lunch before, something like that, then you can come to the volunteer check-in table and get those from me. I think that just reminded me of that, Brian. Thank
Can
you.
I show you something cool about the tokens?
Oh yes, Terry's fun token thing. Please.
The vendors will never have to touch the tokens because we have something for them. It's really a rain gauge, but if you purchase something and it's 3 tokens, you just drop your tokens in and the vendors never have to touch it, and then that goes to the accounting department. And it makes noise. I love it.
We get really excited about all the things.
And show off those beautiful custom Fusion Fest tokens.
Brian, did you volunteer with us last year?
No, I'm a friend of Crystal's.
Oh, okay.
Anyone
Yeah,
that has other friends,
I
we
see.
still have some room for them to sign up. So
Yes.
Don't
And I
let
see
friends.
Daniela. I see Daniela here. She's my friend. She's coming from Tampa to volunteer with us. So just want to give you a shout out, say that I really appreciate you.
Awesome. Anybody else have any last minute questions? And of course, I'm available. I'm going nowhere. Send me a message if something comes up. I'm here for you.
Any different colors of shirts this year, or is it the same? Volunteer shirts.
Volunteer t-shirts will be purple.
Ooh.
Yeah. Are they gonna be small, like really, like the S is gonna be small, or it's gonna be big?
It runs, well, it runs, I don't know, it runs a little big, I would say, a small
Oh,
kind of, I would say it's more like a median. So I think it runs a little big.
okay.
Sorry, little petite Maria.
That happens to me all the time.
Talia, for the performers t-shirts or the curators t-shirts.
Curators are getting a staff t-shirt. So I have yours. I think if you send me your size, I have probably 2 t-shirts for you.
Thank you.
Those t-shirts will be available Tuesday for staff.
Okay.
I'll send everyone an email letting them know what time they can pick up from the office if they want to.
Oh
Excellent.
yeah,
Thank
good.
And those are not purple.
No, the staff t-shirt is black.
you. Okay.
We're back to black.
Awesome. All right. Well, if no other questions, thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to see you next weekend in 1 week.
Yay.
Fusion Fest. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.